Hi guys, good morning and welcome to class. Melanie here teaching you today. So how are we feeling today, guys? Here in Vancouver, it's a little bit rainy, it's a bit misty, a bit humid. Humid, that's where you get all sweaty and kind of gross. But better, sunnier days are ahead for Vancouver apparently. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, for some nice summer weather. All right, so here is the plan for today. First off, we're going to be doing a reading exercise with The Guardian. And after that, we are going to be doing some discussion. Sorry, all these papers everywhere. So we're going to be doing some discussion on exercise. And then at the end, for our elective class, we're going to be learning about different types of architecture. Woo! So that should be fun. You're going to learn some new vocabulary, and there's going to be a listening exercise. So it's a busy day ahead of us, but I think it'll be a fun day. All right, so if you're in the room, feel free to type out your name or just say hello, and it'd be fun to see how many people are in class today. Okay guys, so let us begin. So I'd like you to pull out this Guardian article. Now, today's title, what is it? Meet the LA man who walks people for a living. All right, so what does this title mean? What is the story going to be about? Okay, so we all know meet, nice to meet you. So to meet a person, to get to know them, meet the LA man. You all know where LA is? What is LA? If you have any thoughts or ideas, feel free to type in the answer. LA is, yes, very good, Los Angeles. And that is in California, America. So there's a man from LA, California, America, and he walks people. So you've heard the term to walk a dog, right? If you have a pet dog, you gotta take your dog for a walk sometimes. Now, this man, he does not walk dogs, he walks people. Now they're not on a leash, mind you, not like a dog. These are people, so no leash and collar for them. Now here's a word or an expression that might be new to you guys. For a living. So what do you think this means? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with money. It means, for a living means to work as a job. So for a living is basically a job or work. I'm going to put that down under the new words column, for a living. So for example, I work as an ESL teacher for a living. I'll give you that sentence. I work as an ESL teacher or instructor. Teacher, instructor, similar thing. For a living. Woo! All right. Maybe you guys can practice. What do you do for a living? I'd like you to write out an answer for me. So for example, if you are if you are a server at a restaurant, you bring food and drinks to people, you could say, I work as a server for a living. So this is the part that you could switch out. Another way you could say it is, you could say I work, or you could say I do blank, 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 like serving. I do teaching for a living, or I totally messed that up. Okay, we'll keep it as that actually. We'll keep it simple for now. So feel free to work with this sentence and let me know what you do for a living. So, okay, here we go. I teach English for a living. This is the other way we can do it. I blah, blah, blah for a living. All right. So this is probably better actually because this sounds kind of redundant. All right, let me know what you do for a living. All right, so let's move on. We're gonna do the warmer now, which is the first part. Now, here we have 3 sentences. Okay, actually this is going back to this. Let me get rid of that. And so here is the question. Question. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Do you do for a living? Question mark. So that got a little bit wonky there with my drawing. Okay, so we have 3 different answers, but only one of them is correct. 2 of them are incorrect. So, number 1, I share a house with 2 friends. Is that correct or is it incorrect? Number 2, I work in a hospital. Correct or incorrect? And number 3, my husband, 2 children, and a dog. Correct or incorrect? So which is the correct answer? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? What do you guys think? Let me get rid of this sentence down here so we have more room to work with. So which do you guys think is the correct answer? All right, and we do have an answer. Yes, number 2 is indeed correct. Thank you so much. So the correct way to answer this, you could say, yes, I work in a hospital. There we go. I work in a hospital. So number 1, number 3, not the correct way to answer this question. Excuse me. Sorry, choked on my spit there. Okay. Now, let's see, number 2, or B, sorry, B. Now, I want you to answer this question. So I know I kind of asked you this a couple minutes ago, but I'd like to see if there's any answers in the house. So, what do you do for a living? Please give me an answer. So you could say, I work at Microsoft, or I work at McDonald's, or I teach for a living, or I work in a hospital. Maybe you're a nurse. Maybe you work in a hospital. So feel free to type in your answers. I'm not seeing too many folks out there responding, but that's okay. Feel free to chime in at any time during the lesson. Okay. Now, C. Let's do part C. All right, let's get rid of this down here. Okay, so now we're gonna look at the sentence and complete a sentence that is accurate about yourself. So for example, so C, so what do we have? Often. So often means a lot, very frequently, maybe almost every day. I sometimes, so not every day, just half and half. And occasionally, and that's even less than sometimes. And rarely, so that means almost never. All right, so let's see, go for a walk. Go for a walk. Now you could say in or around blank with blank. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. I sometimes go for a walk around my neighborhood. My neighborhood. I think you guys are learning about neighborhood, so this is appropriate. With my husband. So this is my sentence. I sometimes go for a walk, around, I forgot to circle around, my bad. So I sometimes go for a walk around my neighborhood with my husband. So this is a true sentence for me. What about you guys? Do you go for walks? Do you often go for a walk, or maybe occasionally go for a walk? And where do you walk? Do you walk in the park or in the forest? In the mall? And who do you walk with? And if you don't walk with anybody, you could say by myself or alone. So maybe you don't walk with anybody, and that's totally fine. Sometimes I go for a walk around the neighborhood by myself. All right, so feel free to chime in and let me know what your answers are for this. Okay, so let's see. Okay, guys. Now we are going to move on to the keywords section. We have a lot of keywords, so we got quite a bit to get through, but we can do it. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this for now, but if you are typing this out, please keep typing and send it to me. And if you do send it, I would love to read out your answers, okay? Alrighty. Let's get rid of that. Okay, we're gonna cut off these people's legs. They can't walk anymore. Sorry, guys. All right. Oh. Do you go walking often? I feel like I should walk and exercise a bit more, but I've been lazy. Okay, so keywords. Okay, so here, this is going to be a little bit different from our normal exercise, because normally we have a box with a bunch of words in there, right? Today, however, there are no words, dun, dun, dun. But we do have paragraph numbers. So what you are going to do is look at the first paragraph and try and find the word that matches the description. So for example, for number 1, let's see, what do we have for number 1? Likely to kill someone or wanting to kill someone. Ooh, that sounds quite dangerous. Ooh. All right, so what we're going to do is you're gonna flip to the article, and we're gonna look at paragraph number 1 and try to find a word that means someone who wants to kill. All right, so let's see. Chuck McCarthy recently auditioned as a homicidal. Ooh, that sounds like wanting to kill. Okay, so number 1 is oops, I'm not writing that out, right? Homicidal. Wanting to kill someone. Kill someone. So this is an adjective. Maybe I can put it under the new words. Homicidal. All right. So, wanting to kill or likely to kill someone. So that is number 1. So I did the first one for you. Let's see if you can try and do the next ones by yourself. Okay. So number 2, let's see. We have a formal agreement for someone to sell a company's products or services in a particular place in exchange for a payment or part of the profits. Hoo-wee, that is a mouthful. Okay, now let's read let's read paragraph 1 again and see if we can find the word. Okay, Chuck McCarthy recently auditioned as a homicidal biker for a TV show. But the actor is finding glimmers of fame, possibly a business franchise with another role, Los Angeles' first people walker. Okay, so which word in that paragraph do you think fits for number 2? A formal agreement for someone to sell a company's products or services in a particular place in exchange for money or part of the profits. What do you guys think? What could this word be? Ooh, it's a mystery. All right, I'll give you a hint. It begins with an F. Any thoughts? Any ideas? Someone said franchise. Nice. Good job. Okay. Franchise. Very good. Franchise. So this is a noun. So a franchise, usually, for example, McDonald's, technically that's a franchise. It doesn't have just one store. It has many stores all around the world. And each store is owned by somebody else. But some of the money from that McDonald's will go to the president. So, franchise, they can be small. They could have like just 2 or 3 locations. Sorry for the spitting, blech. Or they could have millions of locations. So that's a franchise. Nice work. Okay, number 3, moving on. Boop. Okay. A long, narrow piece of leather, chain, etc. that you fasten to the collar around a dog's neck in order to control the dog. Oh, okay. I think I mentioned this before. All right, so I'm going to draw a picture. Here's a dog. Woof, woof. Okay, so here's the dog's collar. Now, when you're walking your dog, you often have this. What is this called? What is this? It begins with an L. There's 2 different words that you can use for this. Okay, so let's see, paragraph 2. I'll read out paragraph 2, see if you guys can guess. He walks humans for $7 a mile around the streets and parks near his home, pioneering an alternative to dog walking that requires no lead. What do you think, guys? Any thoughts? What is this? It attaches to a dog's collar, begins with an L. And I see someone has written lead. Very nice. Good. Yes, this is a lead. Another word for this, we often say leash. I hear this more often, but this is totally fine too. Lead and leash. So this is a noun. Another new word for you guys. Woohoo! Okay. Moving on. Number 4. Number 4. Just put lead. Okay, I'm gonna have to erase the dog picture because it's getting in the way. Bye-bye, doggy. I'm sorry. Okay. Something written carelessly or in a hurry so that it is difficult to read. Okay, what does that mean? So when I write something carelessly, like this, hello, my name is Melanie. Like, that is very careless writing. I wrote it too quickly and it's difficult to read. Okay, so paragraph 5, let's go to paragraph 5. All right. A homemade scrawl across his t-shirt declared him the people walker low budget, mobile advertising. Okay, so is going to be a noun. What is the word? So this is writing, but it's kind of messy, quick writing. We can call this, it starts with an S. Let me see, let's see if you guys can guess it. Paragraph 5, another word for quick, kind of messy writing. What do you think this could be called? And I see someone wrote scrawl. Good job. Yes, scrawl. This isn't a word I hear super often, but scrawl, it can be readable, it can be intelligible. My scrawl is not intelligible. You can barely read it. So yeah, scrawl, messy, quick writing. Nicely done, nicely done. Good job. Okay, number 5. Number 5. Number 5 is alive. A slow walk for pleasure. Okay, a slow walk and you're having fun. Maybe you're with some people, maybe you're not. Okay, paragraph 6. Let's take a looky-loo. A stroll with his soft-spoken, hirsute hulk seems to be what much of LA wants, judging by the response on his Facebook page and homemade flyers. Okay, so what is the word? Another word for a slow, leisurely walk. It's a fairly common word in English, actually. Begins with an S. Another S, very common letter in the English alphabet. What do you guys think it is? Feel free to type in your answers now. Let me just take a swig of water in the meantime. All right. Someone wrote stroll. Nice. Good. Thank you. Good. Stroll. Yes. This is a noun. I'm going to put this down in the new words column because I think it's quite a useful word. So to walk, it's to go on a stroll with someone. So yeah, easygoing, leisurely walk. So you might say with your friend, hey, let's go on a stroll through the park. Yeah, all right, so that is stroll. Number 6. All right, number 6. Okay, used to describe a man who has a lot of hair on his face or body. So a hairy man. Number 6. Excuse me. Okay, paragraph 6. Excuse me. A stroll with this soft-spoken, hirsute hulk seems to be much of what LA wants. All right. So what word is it? This is not a word I hear very often in English. In fact, this might be the first time I've seen this word. So maybe it's more of a common word in British English. Okay, so begins with an H. What do you guys think? Hirsute. Oh, I just said it. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I'm sorry, guys. I'm still waking up, so my bad. Okay, hirsute. So that means kind of like hairy, especially on the face, like with the beard, maybe hairy on the chest, hairy on the arms. Again, this is not a word I see very often in English at all, so don't worry about memorizing it. Just for this article, they want to describe him as a hairy hirsute man. Okay, so I'm going to erase these because we're done with them. All right, how we doing? How we doing? We doing good? All right. Number 7? Yes, we are on number 7 now. Number 7. A word that refers to walking. Okay, another word for walking. All right, paragraph 8. Let's take a look. For many, The answer to one or all of the above seems to be yes. All right. McCarthy is receiving hundreds of emails from the lonely, the curious, and the adventurous, all seeking a stranger's ambulatory company. So, what is the word? Starts with an A. This is another word that's not used in English very often. So what do you guys think this word is? Another word for walking. It's not stroll. This is a different word. Okay. Someone wrote ambulatory, and that is correct. Ambulatory. So this refers to walking. So walking company. But again, we don't use this too often in English from what I know, so don't worry about memorizing this word. Just for the article. Okay, and number 8. Walking with energy and confidence. Ooh, what could that be? Okay, so this is paragraph 9. Let's get a look at paragraph 9. I try to listen more than talk, he said, striding past handsome houses in Los Feliz, a leafy neighborhood near Hollywood. Okay, so this is a verb. Look for a verb that means to walk energetically. What do you think it is? Any thoughts? Yes, striding. Thank you. Good. Striding. Or, yes, stride is the plain form of this word. So yeah, this is a good way. So stride. People, especially people with longer legs, stride really easily. They have like they just like walk with energy and confidence. I don't stride. I definitely kind of drag my feet slowly around the ground. I'm a lazy walker. Do you guys like to stride? Okay, number 9. We're getting through it, Admitting to bad or embarrassing things that you have done. Ooh. All right. So this is going to be paragraph 10. Admitting to bad things you have done. So let's read paragraph 10. Conversations with clients are seldom confessional, but he respects confidences. Okay. What do you think, guys? Conversations with clients are seldom confessional, but he respects confidences. Starts with a C. There's a lot of C's in this one. And while we're at it, let's do number 10 as well. Secrets told to someone. This also starts with a C. Conversations with clients are seldom confessional, but he respects confidences. What do you guys think? What is number 9? What word do you think it is? So someone said confessional, and that is good. Nice. Confessional. So this is an adjective. It can also be a verb, confess. So for example, let's pretend I committed a crime. I stole something from the store and I ran off. Now the police are looking for someone who stole from that store. They come up to me and the police are like, hey, did you see anyone who stole from the store? And I might go, nope. Can you give us any information about who stole from the store? Not really. And maybe they keep talking to me and they get scary. I'm like, okay, I confess, I stole from the store. Are you happy? You can arrest me now. So that is what confess means. So admit that you do something. All right. I don't see any answers for number 10. That's okay. So this is a bit tricky. Confidences. So this, I don't think we use this super often to talk about secrets, but it refers to secrets. So things that, you know, you don't tell anyone. Confide is a more common one. So this is a verb. Usually you confide in someone. So for example, when I'm feeling down and I don't know who to talk to, usually I confide in my older sister. She's a really good listener and she can keep a secret. So my older sister is someone who I can confide in. All right, guys. All right, I know there's a lot of words, so I'm trying to blast through these quickly now. Okay, what else do we have? Number 11, employed. Paragraph 12, what is another word for employed? Okay, so many requests have poured in that McCarthy has recruited 5 other walkers to serve different parts of LA, though he will not take any cut from their earnings until he figures out a professional business model. So which word is employed? What do you guys think? Okay, and let's do number 12 as well. Number 12, a percentage or part of a total amount of money. Okay, so same paragraph. He will not take any cut from their earnings until he figures out a professional business model. All right, so any thoughts, guys? Sorry, just checking something. This starts with an R. Number 11 starts with an R. Number 12 starts with a C. Those are my hints from you. Let's take a look. Someone said recruited for number 11. Very nice. Good job. Recruited. All right, so this is a passive verb. So to be recruited usually means to be employed. And number 12, someone wrote cut. Yes, very good. So this is kind of similar, like there's the verb cut, but this is a noun. So for example, let's say me and you, we do a job together. Let's say we're delivering newspapers. And all together, we get maybe $100 for one day of delivering newspapers. Now there are 2 of us, so we have to split it. So what's going to happen is $50 will go to me and $50 will go to you. So we each take a cut of this. Okay, guys, how are we doing for space? I think I'm going to erase this because we're getting kind of busy on this board. Okay, get rid of that, get rid of this. Woo, coming along, coming along. Okay, number 13. Number 13. Confused, another word for confused. And let's also do number 14. How near something is to another thing, especially in distance or time. Okay. And actually, let's also do number 15 because they're all the same paragraph. These are all paragraph 14. Number 15, how pleasant, how nice a person is. All right, so confused, how near something is to another thing, and how pleasant a person is. Here we go. 14, paragraph 14. McCarthy is bemused and excited by the attention and is considering crowdfunding to hire techies to design an Uber-style app. In addition to ensuring proximity, he wants to stay local and on foot, not drive across town, let alone fly thousands of miles. The app would let walkers and clients rate each other for personability and walking speed. The latter is a key point for walkers, since a slow pace, say 2 miles an hour, yields $14 versus $28 for a brisk 4 miles per hour. Okay, So, first one starts with a B, so that is confused. And how close something is to another thing, place or time, starts with a P. And number 15, how friendly someone is or how nice someone is, P. Okay, so it's a little bit, this is a little bit tricky, but let's see if you guys can guess it. I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. So paragraph 14 is the longest paragraph. So it's quite a wordy, quite a lengthy. Much better. All right. So number 13, someone put bemused. Very good, nice. Bemused, so that is another word for confused. But yeah, bemused is not necessarily always a negative thing. Just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. I don't really get it. Yeah. And then 14, proximity. Very good. Thank you. Proximity. This is a good word, actually. Proximity. So this is a noun. All right. So yeah, proximity, how close one thing is to another in terms of space and time. So for example, I live in New Westminster. So within that proximity, there are a lot of restaurants and businesses. So it's a good place to live. So kind of talking about an area. So New Westminster, like within that proximity, there are a lot of good restaurants. So I'm happy to be there. All right, and last one. I don't see any answers. Any thoughts? Okay, let's do number 16. I don't know why I thought that was a 17, sorry. Let's do number 17 in the meantime. Small holes or cuts. Small holes or cuts. Okay, so I'll give you a little picture. Here's a cat. Meow. Okay, and this cat has gone into a lot of fights. So in his ear, he's gonna have a little cut or a hole. So there is a particular term for this, and it starts with an N. Let's read number 16, paragraph 17. Let's see if we can figure it out. We also need exercise. McCarthy has slimmed down 2 notches on his belt since starting the professional walking. So, it starts with an N. What is this word? N. Okay, and for number 15, someone wrote personability. That is good. Yes, personability. And the adjective form, which we use more often, is personable. So this is a good word, I think. Personable. Personable. Adjective. Okay. So someone who's personable, it means they're easy to talk to, they're quite friendly, they're nice. So for example, my husband, he is a very personable man. He's always smiling and happy to talk to people. All right. Okay. And someone wrote notch. Nice, notch. Good stuff. Woohoo! Thank you, thank you. Okay, so this is called a notch. So it's kind of like a hole or a tear. And so when we're talking about a belt, okay, how do belts work? Oh dear. Okay, so here's your belt. And typically you have little holes. These are called notches. So this is a belt notch. And I guess it goes over here technically. Okay, well done guys. Yay, we did it. We got all the words done. Okay, now what is next? We are going to read over this article one time, okay? So, at the same time, I think what we will do is we're also going to work on number 3, collocations. So I'm going to erase the board and prepare you guys for that. All right. All right. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. So what you're going to do is we have 10 words on the right, 10 words on the left. These words go together and they kind of make a new word or collocation. So you're going to have to try to match the words. So let me write out the words. Let's see, we got business, business. We have repeat. We have hirsute. We've got leafy, means a lot of leaves, lots of trees. And we have people, 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 people. We have fluid. And we also got gig and bit. All right, and then number 9, we have breakthrough. Not breathe through. Come on, Mel, get it together. Breakthrough. Breakthrough. And number 10, we got drill. Okay, so, and on the right, let's see, we have, okay, I think what I'll do is I'm going to erase the top here and make a little word box so that we can match it up. All right, so we got, there we go. A, neighborhood, neighborhood. Actually, you know what? You guys have the sheet. I don't think I need to spend all this time writing out, so I will just think I'm gonna leave it blank for now, but make sure to refer to your sheet for this, okay? All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna read and try to listen for the words that match up with the words on the left, okay? Good luck. We need human interaction. Meet the LA man who walks people for a living, for a job, for work. As the digital age makes people more lonely, Chuck McCarthy has created a service to stroll with strangers, to walk with strangers. But the job is more people whisperer, hint, hint, than walker. So this is September 2016. Chuck McCarthy recently auditioned as a homicidal biker for a TV show, but the actor is finding glimmers of fame and possibly a business franchise with another role. Los Angeles' first people walker. He walks humans for $7 a mile around the streets and park near his home. Pioneering, remember that word from yesterday? Pioneering an alternative to dog walking that requires no lead, just an ability to walk, to talk, and above all, listen. The idea initially struck the unemployed actor as a joke, an imaginary way to make some extra cash, some extra money, until it became real. The more I thought about it, the less crazy it seemed, said McCarthy, draining a bottle of water. He now takes hydration very seriously and heading out into the sunshine for a walk. A homemade scrawl across his t-shirt declared him the people walker. Low budget, mobile advertising. I've been doing walks almost every single day for the past week, and I'm getting repeat clients. So that means clients who keep coming back, which is what you want. You want people to keep coming back to use your business. Number 6, sorry. A stroll with the soft-spoken hirsute Hulk seems to be what much of LA wants, judging by the responses to his Facebook page and homemade flyers. Need motivation to walk? They ask from lampposts. Scared to walk alone at night? Don't like walking alone at all? Don't want people to assume you see you walking alone and just assume you have no friends? Don't like listening to music or podcasts, but can't walk alone in silence? Forced to face the thoughts of the unknown future or your own insignificance in the ever-expanding universe? Okay, so this seems kind of like a long, drawn-out paragraph. So some people, maybe they don't like walking by themselves because sometimes they get thinking, like, here's the earth or the universe, and then like they get kind of thinking and they get kind of upset. So that's why some people don't like to walk alone. For many, the answer to one or all of the above questions seems to be yes. McCarthy is receiving hundreds of emails from the lonely, the curious, and the adventurous, all seeking a stranger's ambulatory company, walking company, remember. I try to listen more than talk, he said, striding past a handsome house in Los Feliz, a leafy green neighborhood near Hollywood. Conversations with clients are seldom confessional, but he respects confidences, secrets. It's mostly surface, small talk type stuff, but I think it's therapeutic, even if they're not bearing their souls. Okay, so I'll draw a picture. All right, so here's McCarthy, and now he's talking. He's walking and talking with this guy, and so maybe he's feeling pretty comfortable now. Okay, let's erase his face. McCarthy. And now this person's pretty happy. And so maybe they're just talking about, I don't know, my cat, Fluffy. Maybe they're talking about cats, or maybe he's talking about hamburgers and how much he likes to eat. Okay, and McCarthy's more listening, I guess. So, boop, boop. So when they say therapeutic, so when the client talks about these kind of things, when they're talking, they feel better, they feel nice. That is what therapeutic means. It's like a therapy. Okay, moving on. Grumbling about traffic, for instance, felt better when delivered to an actual human rather than just posting it on social media. Tweeting or Facebooking about it and getting no response just makes you feel sadder. Have you guys ever had that? So many requests have poured in that McCarthy has recruited 5 other walkers to serve different parts of LA, though he will not take any cut from their earnings until he figures out a professional business model. Okay, so not only McCarthy, but somebody else is also doing this. So he has another co-worker who does this. Whee! And maybe he gets $14, but he's not going to take that $14 yet. So far, he gets to keep it, which is pretty nice overall. Hey? Okay, so we're going to have our first break now. And what we will do is we're gonna finish reading. So put a little bookmark on paragraph 13 and we'll come back to it after the break. So go ahead, get some water, relax, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Goodbye. And welcome back. All right, it's class time again. Hope you had a nice break, got some coffee, had a little sleep, whatever you did. Okay, so let's get back to our reading exercise here. So we're at paragraph 13. So for paragraph 13, before that, what was happening? All right, so apparently, now remember McCarthy, our people walker, he's getting so popular and so many people want to walk with him. They want his company. So his business model's getting pretty good and successful. So he's hiring other people. Okay, what next? So let's continue. Paragraph 13, here we go. So the business could grow fast. A woman in Israel has copied the idea. Someone in Britain wants him to do it there, and a guy in New York asked him to walk his 8-year-old son to the bus stop every day. McCarthy, bemused and excited by the attention, is considering crowdfunding to hire techies to design an Uber-style app. In addition to ensuring proximity, he wants to stay local and on foot, not drive across town, let alone fly thousands of miles. The app would let walkers and clients rate each other for personability and walking speed. The latter is a key point for walkers since a slow pace, say for 2 miles an hour, yields $14 versus $28 for a brisk 4 miles per hour. Okay, so this is that long paragraph, so I'm going to try and break it down. All right, so because it's getting so popular, he's thinking of doing crowdfunding. So yeah, I'm not sure if you guys heard of this, but this is a website where you might say, okay, my goal is to get money to make an app for my business. So maybe he needs $10,000. So random people can give money to McCarthy's account. And once he hits that account, then he can give the money to, these are app developers or techies as they're called, developers. So these are the people who will make a phone app similar to an Uber driving app so that McCarthy can use it for his business. So he's trying to get money so that he can make his walking business. Okay, and number 15, awesome concept. Plenty of screwed up lonely people out there, said one Facebook commenter, suggesting that the job is more people whisperer than walker. But according to McCarthy, paying to be walked does not mean people are friendless. It just means that they cannot always coordinate leisure time with friends, a product of fluid schedules in the gig economy. Okay, so 2 of those words popped up there. We're on phones and computers constantly communicating, but we're not actually connecting as much. We need that human interaction. So basically, people are too busy, their job schedules are messed up, so it's hard for people to see each other anymore. We also need exercise. McCarthy has slimmed down 2 notches on his belt since starting the professional walking. I try not to run because it could ruin my brand, he jokes. Originally from Atlanta, McCarthy is serious enough about acting that he declined to reveal his exact age, beyond saying he is in his late 30s. He has found bit parts since moving to LA a decade ago, but no breakthrough role. Okay, so these ones are talking a lot about the acting business. All right, and then it continues here, just a tiny little bit left, guys. I grew the beard so I could play homeless people and potentially homicidal bikers. He is hopeful of landing that role. McCarthy stresses that he is not a personal trainer. I'm more about motivating someone to leave their house and walk than being a drill sergeant shouting at them. Okay, so that one was in paragraph 20. Okay, guys, so that's it. Woo! That's a pretty cool business, hey? Do you think you'd like to try this? Would you hire him to walk you? Okay, so let me just erase this messy drawing here. Okay, so now we're gonna try and match up the words. Were you guys able to pick up some of these vocabulary? So I wrote out, during the break, I wrote out some of the words that are supposed to be matched. So they're all up here. So business, so it's going to be matched with one of these words, but which word? And I gave you hints. So number 1, that refers to the paragraph number. All right, so let's do number 1 together. So Chuck McCarthy recently auditioned as a homicidal biker for a TV show, but the actor is finding glimmers of fame and possibly a business franchise. Oh, there we go. Business franchise is the answer. Business franchise. So we can cross that out. So that's how we're going to do this, okay? Let's see if you can do number 2. Okay, so number 2, you can find in paragraph 2. He walks humans for $7 a mile around the streets and park near his home, pioneering an alternative to dog walking that requires no lead. Just an ability to, oops, I may have gotten the wrong paragraph, my bad. Let me see. Paragraph 5, I'm so sorry. Paragraph 5 is where we're gonna find the answer, my bad. Okay, I've been doing walks almost every single day for the past week and I'm getting repeat clients, which is what you want. All right, so where is the answer? I'm gonna let you type that in. And we're gonna do number 3 as well. Number 3. So this is paragraph 6. A stroll with this soft-spoken, hirsute Hulk seems to be what much of LA wants. Okay, and which word are we going to match this with? So type in your answers, don't be shy. And let's do number 4 as well, paragraph 9. I try to listen more than talk, he said, striding past handsome houses in Los Feliz, a leafy neighborhood near Hollywood. All right, so leafy clients, leafy role, what is the word? Okay, starting to get some answers. For number 2, someone wrote clients. Nice, good job. Repeat clients, good. Okay, so when you put these, so this is a collocation. So basically a collocation is a collection of words that makes a new meaning. So alone, this is a different meaning. Clients alone, a different meaning. But when you have it together, repeat clients. So that means clients who come again and again to use a service. For example, I am a repeat client of Starbucks. I go there to get coffee often. Okay, and someone said hirsute Hulk. Nice, good, well done. Hirsute Hulk, okay. Again, I've never heard these 2 words used together, but when someone talks about a Hulk, usually it's like a big, burly, tall person. So a big, hairy, strong man is what they're talking about here. This is not a word I hear very often though, so don't worry too much about it. And someone wrote neighborhoods. Good, thank you, thank you. Leafy neighborhoods, well done. Nice job, guys. All right, leafy neighborhoods, neighborhoods. Okay, so neighborhood's done, Hulk is done. Excellent. Okay, so number 5, this is in the intro and this is in paragraph 15. I'm just gonna read the intro and see if you can guess what the matching word is. As the digital age makes people more lonely, Chuck McCarthy has created a service to stroll with strangers, but the job is more people whisperer than walker. All right, so what's the matching word here? Fluid, okay, fluid. So this means kind of like loose, easy to change. So, paragraph 16, let's take a look. According to McCarthy, paying to be walked does not mean people are friendless. It just means that they cannot always coordinate leisure times with friends, a product of fluid schedules in the gig economy. Oh, okay, so there were two there. So number 6, number 7, fluid and gig. What are the two words that match here? Type in your answers now. Okay, so I see someone wrote down people whisperer, and that is good. Yes. So let's erase this. Boink. People whisperer. People whisperer. All right, so whisperer is gone. So you may have heard terms such as horse whisperer, dog whisperer, and now we got people whisperer. So people who do this, like when they work with, say, dogs, so a dog whisperer is someone who is very good with dogs. If the dog has a problem, they can figure it out. So maybe people as well, but this kind of refers more to someone who listens, someone who understands, and helps make other people feel better. Are you guys people whisperers, or are you a dog whisperer, a cat whisperer? I'm not really any of those things, unfortunately. All right, someone has typed in fluid schedule. Very good. Fluid schedules. Okay, fluid schedules. All right, so the opposite of fluid is rigid. So a rigid schedule, for example, this means maybe you always work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Like, that's it. You can't change your work hours. Now, if you have a fluid schedule, maybe sometimes you work 9 to 5, sometimes you work 2 to 6, sometimes you work, I don't know, 8 to 12. Maybe you can work like any day of the week, for example. So your schedule, it can you can kind of set your own times. It's easy to change. Apparently it makes it hard to meet up with friends though. Okay, so fluid schedules. Schedules is out of the way. Okay, and someone wrote gig. Actually, I don't see any answers for gig yet. No thoughts. That is okay. So gig, the answer is gig economy. That is the answer I was looking for. Gig economy. All right, so this is a bit of a tricky one. So what is a gig? A gig is basically a job that you do for a short period of time. It is not stable, it's not permanent. It's something maybe you do for one day, or it could be 1 week, or maybe it could be like a month or two. But the thing is, it's short. So many people might do gig jobs. So they'll do a job one day, then another day they have a different job, and then next week a completely different job. And economy, I think you know this word already. So economy works, it's how people work, they do their jobs, how people spend money. So more people are doing gig jobs. So we're turning into a gig economy where we don't have permanent jobs. We have more people doing temporary jobs. That is a gig economy. All right, almost done. So next we have bit and breakthrough. These are both in paragraph 18. So let's do bit and breakthrough together. Let's see. Oh, clients is already done. Okay, so let's see. We only have 3 words left. Sergeant, role, and parts. Okay, so remember, number 8 and number 9 refer to acting, like the movie industry. So try to keep that in mind. All right, paragraph 18. Here we go. Originally from Atlanta, McCarthy is serious enough about acting that he declines to reveal his exact age. beyond saying he is in his 30s. He has found bit parts since moving to LA a decade ago, but no breakthrough role. Okay, so what were the two words? Okay, so bit means small, like small pieces. And breakthrough, so like physically to break through, so like think of a wall and you're like, ah, you break through. Now, this kind of refers to something big happens. You finally make it big. So you're trying to accomplish something and you finally get it. You finally achieve it. So feel free to type in the words, and we're gonna do the last one. Okay, last paragraph. McCarthy stresses that he is not a personal trainer. I'm more about motivating someone to leave their house and walk than being a drill sergeant shouting at them. Okay, so I saw someone wrote down bit rolls. Good, nice. Bit rolls. Bit rolls. So a role is basically a part you play in a movie. So for example, maybe if I'm acting in a movie, I'm going to be just the random shopper in the background. That is my role, small role. So bit roles means very small, tiny roles, like very background roles. Maybe they say 1 or 2 lines. And someone wrote breakthrough. Oops, sorry, no. Actually, I'm sorry, whoever wrote that. It wasn't bit roles, it was bit parts. My bad, I'm so sorry. Okay. Doi. Sorry, guys. Good try, though, good try. It was actually bit parts, I'm sorry. Bit parts, okay. So bit parts are small acting parts. However, a breakthrough role. Okay, so like I said, role is what you do in a movie, like what part you do as an actor. So a breakthrough role is when you suddenly become really famous. So for example, do you guys know who Daniel Radcliffe is? Daniel Radcliffe. He's the guy who played Harry Potter, of course. So Daniel Radcliffe's breakthrough role was playing Harry Potter. That's his breakthrough role. And of course, that means number 10 is drill sergeant. So this is someone in the army. Usually they're like, 10 hot, attention, march. They tend to shout and be like really hard. So like very intense people. That is a drill sergeant. Okay, guys, nice work. Well done. Okay. Now, moving on. I say let's do number 5. Let's do number 5 here. And we are going to do with 3-word expressions. Sorry, it's thirsty there. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of all this. How are we doing? We feeling okay, guys? Doing good? Alrighty. So let's get rid of this. Nice, nice. All right. Oh, there's a lot to erase here, my goodness. Got busy on this board. Okay, so 3-word expressions. Okay, so we have a lot of words here. We have bear, fame. So fame is being famous. Glimmers, land, living. Here's a good hint here. Of, role, I just explained that to you. Souls. So soul's kind of like, you know, you have your body and then your soul is like who you are, like your personality. For, the, and there. Okay, so we have all these words, and what we have to do is combine these words to make them 3-word phrases or 3-word expressions. 3-word expressions. Here we go. All right, so there's only 4 of these. So it's going to be a nice short exercise. Okay, so let's do number 1 together. Although he's an actor, Chuck is currently finding blank, blank, blank in his new job. Let's see if we can find where this is. So this is going to be paragraph 1. So try to choose 3 words from here for paragraph 1. All right, let's take a look together. Chuck McCarthy is recently auditioned as a homicidal biker for a TV show, but the actor is finding glimmers of fame and possibly a business franchise with another role. Okay, so already, let's see, we've said glimmers. Okay, glimmers of, so we got glimmers. So glimmers is kind of like sparkles almost. Glimmers of and fame. So fame is the noun form of famous. All right, so that is what I wanted you to do, is try to find 3 words from this box to make 3-word expressions. Okay, now I want you to try to do the next 3 on your own. Okay, so number 2. 1920s. So maybe like 1920s onward, this was a very famous style. It started up in France. Okay. And oh, I see Angela's in the room. Hello. Are you able to hear me now? If you can hear me, you can type in yes, and hopefully we can get that fixed. Just let me know if you still can't hear me, okay, Angela? All right. So, Art Deco. I'm going to show you a picture because there's no way I'm going to be able to draw a good picture of Art Deco. I'm not playing on my phone, I promise. I'm just grabbing the pictures. Okay. Art Deco. All right, so here I come, close with my phone. How's this? All right, so this is what Art Deco buildings look like. They're kind of cool looking, you know, they're quite fashionable. You know, there's the Empire State Building. So again, this is a style that got popular in the 1920s. I don't know if you see too many of these buildings around anymore, but you can find some of them in like France and New York. So that is Art Deco. It's a style of buildings. Okay, next we have concrete. Okay, excellent, Angela. Glad you can hear me. Thank you for confirming. Yay! Okay, now concrete. You guys might already know this word, but concrete, it's very similar to rocks. It's made of rocks. Okay, so trying to think, concrete. I don't know if I have a picture. You know what, I'll just draw a picture. So, a concrete building might look like this. Usually they're pretty tall, gray, so concrete is, so this is a material made from rocks, sand, and water. So often you can find it on the sidewalks and roads. So you know the sidewalks where people walk? And here's the road. Beep, beep, here's a car. This is concrete. Most sidewalks and pavements are made of concrete. Very hard stuff. Okay. Now, so that's the material. Next, controversial. Okay, this is an interesting word. Controversial. So this is an adjective. Okay, so controversial typically is something that's not considered normal. It might cause argument. So this is, you know, causes, you know, many different opinions and maybe even arguments. And arguments. So let me think of, okay, here's a controversial show. Maybe you guys know it. This show is called Family Guy. I think this is a pretty famous show internationally. He's our family guy. You know that show with big fat man Peter and his wife Lois, baby Stewie, and the dog. So, Family Guy was a very controversial show because it had a lot of rude jokes in there and lots of swearing and lots of crazy scenes. So some people liked it, but some people were like, oh no, this is an awful TV show. Pull it off the air. So that's controversial. Apparently some buildings can be controversial, so I've heard. We'll find out more on that later. Okay, what else? We have, ooh, elegant. Okay, starting to get messy, so I'm gonna get rid of Art Deco. Elegant. Okay, this is another adjective. Elegant. So, adjective. So, elegant, so it basically means like classy, refined, beautiful. Classy, refined, beautiful. So, for example, let's think of an elegant building. How about the Eiffel Tower? Okay, pretend it's the Eiffel Tower. Is this an elegant building? Or what about Tokyo Skytree? Maybe that's kind of elegant looking. Or the Burj Khalifa in United Arab Emirates, UAE. So yeah, that's elegant. That is what elegant means. People can be elegant too, not just buildings. I'm gonna write that down. I think it's a good word. Elegant. Adjective. Okay, and what else? Next, we have energy efficient. Okay, you guys might be familiar with this already. Energy efficient. Energy efficient. Okay, so you know what energy is, right? Electricity, you know, the lights that power up this room. And efficient, so that means it's good at something. So a building that is energy efficient, it means it uses little electricity. So your electric bill is going to be cheap, woohoo! So doesn't use much energy or electricity. Electricity. So a house, for example, that has solar panels on the roof, that could be a very energy efficient house. Now they're trying to make more energy efficient cars that don't use gas. Okay, so that's energy efficient. If I'm going too fast or you want me to explain another word, by the way, just let me know, okay? There's a lot of words, so I'm kind of trying to go quickly, but if there are some words you want me to clarify, don't hesitate, okay? Just let me know. All right, moving on to the second. Ooh, my favorite, an eyesore. I like this word. An eyesore. So this is a noun. I'm gonna write it over here too, because I think this is a good word. So what is an eyesore? So this can apply not just to buildings, but to people as well, or anything. So it's something that sticks out and doesn't look good. So something that sticks out and does not look good. So for example, UBC has a few concrete buildings and they are an eyesore. They look very ugly, like they don't look good on campus. What about you guys? Can you think of any buildings in Vancouver or in your city, your country, that are an eyesore? Or not just buildings, but it can be other things. People can also be an eyesore. If you say someone like, oh, you're such an eyesore, it's kind of mean. It probably means their fashion is not very good. So it can be a bit of an insult. So be careful if you use this to describe people. You might hurt their feelings. But yeah, let me know if you can think of any buildings or anything in your city that is an eyesore. Okay, facade or facade? Facade, okay, I think facade. This is a French word. So facade, this is kind of almost similar to like an illusion. So this will be a little bit tricky to explain, but this is common in Vancouver actually. So here is the front of a building. And maybe it looks really beautiful, like it's very old-fashioned, and maybe it has like bricks, and like maybe it has like this ancient door, like maybe it's really cool. But here's the side and the back. However, the rest of it's just normal. Or maybe there's nothing even there, like maybe there's no building. It's only the front that exists. So basically a facade is a front of a building. It's just the front of a building, nothing else. So we have a lot of these in Vancouver because we have some old buildings, but they're too expensive to keep. So we only keep the front of a building. That is what a facade is. So a facade is the front of a building. Okay, and foundations. Okay, we're running out of space, so I'm gonna get rid of elegant and energy efficient. Okay, and let's get rid of eyesore. Foundations. Foundations. Okay. Now, I apologize, I might not do the best job of explaining this, but foundations are what supports the building. Okay, so let's say you have a building here, and yeah, this is the ground where people walk. Now, underneath here, underneath the ground, you're going to have a foundation. So this is the part that supports the building. Supports the building. So, and it can also refer to the structure of the building. Now, if you get rid of the foundation, what's gonna happen? Your building's probably gonna sink, and that's not good. So you gotta have a good foundation to make sure that you have a good building. All right. Next, functional. Functional, okay. This is an adjective. So what is functional? So functional means, you know, it works well, it's convenient. So maybe convenient or can be used anywhere. So a functional building, perhaps, for example, maybe this building, you can have people living there. Maybe it's also a hotel. Maybe it could be used for weddings or big events. So that's a very functional building. It's a building that can be used for many purposes. Maybe it can fit a lot of people in there too. Now, functional is not just for people, not just for buildings, sorry. It can be used for other things. So I'm gonna put it here, functional, under the new words. So, for example, the clothing that I wear, usually it's pretty functional. I need to walk a lot and I need to take public transit. So I need to make sure that my clothing is comfortable, convenient, doesn't get stuck on stuff, and that I can move around in it. So, you know, if I'm teaching and if I'm walking, I need to make sure my clothing's pretty functional. If I'm in a tight skirt and I can barely walk, that's not very functional clothing. Okay, moving on. Glass. Okay, I think we all know what glass is, right? So, you know, windows are made of glass. Sometimes buildings can be made of glass. So a glass building might look like this. Woo! Now, do you think glass buildings are good in earthquakes or not? What do you think? You could just type yes or no. Do you think a glass building is a good idea in an earthquake? Personally, I think not a good idea. It's gonna break easily. Yeah, so glass buildings, they can look nice, but they can be very delicate. So, gotta be careful with glass buildings. Okay, now, let's take a look. All right, so, okay, high-rise apartments. Okay, we're getting through our stuff. High-rise apartments. Okay, and we're also gonna do low rise. So sometimes we just call them high rise and low rise. We don't even say apartments sometimes. So a high rise, you can probably guess, a high rise is a taller building. So usually maybe 6 or more floors. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in my personal, like that's kind of how I define high rise, usually 6 or more floors. That is a high rise. Low rise. So I think that's 5 or less floors. So low rise apartments are pretty common in Vancouver. I live in a low rise, it's 4 floors. Yeah, but high rise apartments are also getting quite popular. Okay, next word. Okay, running out of space again. And how are we doing for time? Okay, think we're okay. Think we're A-okay. How about you guys? Do you live in a high rise? Or do you live in a low rise? Or do you live in a house? You can let me know in the comments. Like I said, I live in a low rise, 2nd floor. Okay. High tech. High tech. Okay. So what is high tech? So high tech means technologically advanced. So for example, my phone is high tech. It has so many apps and it has like a camera in it. So I think most smartphones are pretty high tech. So, I mean, this is kind of a weird one to use with a building. We don't usually describe buildings as high tech. Usually these are newer buildings. Okay, international style. International style buildings. Okay, so this is another style of building that became popular. Now this, I believe, became popular in the 1940s. Here we go. Yes, okay. So this is what an international style building might look like. To be honest, they're not super interesting. They were built to be tall and I guess a bit cheap. So that is an international style building. So let's say popular in the 40s, tall, kind of boring, in my opinion. I think international style is a little bit boring looking. We have some of these in Vancouver. These were popular for quite a while. Sometimes these buildings are still built. You can still see a lot of new international style buildings being built today. All right, and next we have modernist. Okay. Modernist. So modernist is another style of buildings. Okay, let's see if I can pull out some more pictures. Okay, modernist, modernist. All right, so this is what a modernist might look like. So maybe shorter. Not quite as boring perhaps, but you got a few more shapes in there. So this is what modernist might look like. So I think this kind of style became more popular. So style that has more variety and shapes. Variety and shapes. Usually they're shorter, I think, shorter buildings. All right, and what else do we have? Oh, multi-story car park. Okay, fun stuff, woohoo! Multi-story car park. Car park. Okay, so basically this is a big parking lot and Here we go. It looks like this. And here's a car, beep, beep. Here's another car. And here's another car. Here's another car. So this is multi-story. So that means more than one story, like 1, 2, maybe you have 5 stories. So some apartment buildings have multi-story parking lots. Does your building have a multi-story parking lot? Mine has a 1-story parking lot, not a multi-story. Okay, and now postmodern. Okay. Postmodern. Postmodern. Okay, so this is a building style, and this is very different looking buildings. So this is getting kind of popular now. We have something like this in Vancouver. So this is kind of a style that's becoming more common around the world these days. All right. So let's say very different shapes. And let's say getting popular now. And very different from normal buildings. Maybe sometimes controversial. Remember that word, controversial? Some people might like it, some people might hate it. So postmodern buildings can be pretty controversial. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is getting a little, like the vocabulary is dragging on a little bit, so I'm not going to be writing out all the words anymore. I'm just going to try and write out, so I'm going to try to show you some pictures. Okay. So postmodern and pleasing geometric. Okay, I got another good picture. Pleasing geometric forms. Okay, so what is geometric? Geometric buildings might look something like this. So they have lots of shapes like triangles and squares, and they can look very interesting. So these kind of started getting popular in the 80s or 90s perhaps, and I think they're getting pretty popular now. So yeah, that's pleasing geometric shapes. And all right, porch. Okay, what is a porch? So here is a house. Here is the door, and sometimes here on the outside you have what is called a porch. So you can sit here, and it's an area where you can sit outside or stand outside, put your shoes on. Porch. Sometimes it's at the side of the house, sometimes it's at the front of the house. Okay, and practical. So practical, it's very similar to functional, very similar words, practical. So this means that you can use it in everyday life, easy to use. So for example, postmodern buildings may not be practical. The more boring international style buildings might be practical. All right, and next, reinforced concrete. All right, so you know what concrete is? Reinforced concrete often this is a material. So when you're making a building, often you have to put like metal bars and wire in the concrete so that it can stay standing. This helps make your building very strong, especially against earthquakes. This is important. Okay. Skyscraper. Okay. Skyscraper. I think you all know what a skyscraper is, right? Skyscraper is a very tall building. New York has a lot of skyscrapers. Vancouver has some skyscrapers. So when I think of skyscraper, usually I think of like maybe 30 to 40 stories or more. So I'm thinking really tall building. Usually that's what I think of when there's a skyscraper. Maybe 40 stories or more. All right. And what else? Standardized architecture. All right. So standardized. All right, so standardized architecture is where many of the buildings or the houses look the same. So you might see this, for example, in England a lot, or in America's neighborhoods in Canada. Standardized, it can look quite meh. There can be tall buildings, high rises can look standardized too. So a little bit boring. Okay, and let's see. Steel. Okay, so steel is like a type of metal. So steel buildings are not super common, but there can be steel on the building. So think of steel as like a type of metal. And stone, so that is similar to rock, right? And sorry, I know I'm like getting through this really quickly. Timber is a material of building, and that is that's basically, it's made of wood. A timber building is made of wood. And traditional, I will show you pictures of traditional. Here we go. Now, traditional architecture is going to look very different compared to where you are in the world. So here looks like maybe we're in Europe, Rome. And then here, this is Vietnam, so Vietnamese traditional architecture. And yeah, but it's going to be quite different. Like this might be traditional architecture, say in Canada or United States or even Europe. So that is traditional, like old style buildings. It's very beautiful. One of my favorite styles. Okay, I think we all know what ugly is, so I'm not gonna talk about ugly, but ugly is kind of similar to eyesore. Walls, okay, walls are what you are surrounded in the room. So over here and here, and even here, these are walls. Okay, guys, so I know I kind of blitzed through the end there. I'm sorry, I hope that wasn't too quick. Now let me know if there's anything that you didn't understand or if there's something you want me to go over again, okay? Now, what I'm thinking is that we are going to put these words into the appropriate groups. So I'm going to prepare the board for that. Do you guys have a favorite building design? Which building design did you like the best? For me, I think I like traditional best. I think traditional buildings, wherever they are in the world, are really cool. I like traditional. I also kind of like postmodern architecture. I think postmodern looks really neat. Okay, so we got 6 categories. Okay, so we have building materials. Okay, so that means what the building is made of. So I'm going to give you one word. For example, concrete. These are all words that you can find up here, by the way. You can find these words up here. Okay, and what else do we have? So that's 1. All right, I might run out of room. Okay, next we have types of buildings. Types of buildings. Okay, so here, for example, we would have, one second. Maybe skyscraper. So that's one. Skyscrapers. And next we have parts of a building. Okay, so I'm going to divide it up like this. Parts of a building. Parts of a building. Okay, so here we have 4 words. What are some parts of a building? So for example, maybe walls. That's an easy one. And next we have architectural style. Okay, so that's the one where I was showing you all the pictures. So for example, one of them, what was international style? International style. Okay. And then what else do we have? Ooh, aesthetic, sorry. And this is getting kind of aesthetic perception. Okay, so aesthetic perception, what does that mean? That means how do we feel about a building? Is it beautiful? Is it ugly? So there we go, example, ugly. Okay, so I think there's 6 words here. And finally, features. Okay, so features, basically something that makes a building easy to live or work in. So there are 4 words here. So one example is functional. Functional. Okay, and there are 6 words. 6 words. Okay, so for all those words that I taught you, I'd like you to try and put them in the appropriate box. Think you can do it? So let's say, for example, elegant. Which box do you think it would fit under? Elegant. Building materials? Parts of a building? Aesthetic perception? Types of buildings? Architectural style? Or features? Where do you think elegant might fit? I'd like you to type in your answers. It'd be absolutely lovely. What do you think? Any thoughts? That's okay. Feel free to type in the answer if you can think of it, which category you think it fits under. Let's see. How about, who can give me some types of buildings? So we got skyscraper, and there's 3 more types that we can put under here. Now here's a hint. It might have to do with the height of a building, how low it is, how high it is. That's my hint for you there. What are some of the words up here that could fit in here? What do you guys think? Okay, I see someone has typed in elegant for the aesthetic perception. Nice, thank you, good. Okay, that's right, elegant fits under aesthetic perceptions for buildings. Okay, do you guys live in an elegant building? I don't live in an elegant building. Okay, so how about some building materials? Can anyone give me some building materials from this list? I think there's 6. So we need 5 more building materials. So we got concrete. What else do we have? Any other thoughts? This might be the easiest category to do. What can a building be made of? Don't be shy. Feel free to give me some ideas. Glass, thank you, absolutely. Buildings can be made of glass. Very good. Any other ideas? What else can buildings be made of? Angela, any thoughts from you? You got any ideas what buildings could be made of? Building materials? We got concrete, we got glass. There's 4 more words. Give you a hint, some of them are on the new words list that I put over here. My goodness, I'm thirsty today. Woo-wee. All right. Steel, yes, absolutely, good. Steel, very nice. Any other materials? We got 3 more. 3 more materials. What do you guys think? Stone, good, absolutely. Stone, yeah. Stone buildings do exist. All right, 2 more. Any thoughts? One of them is related to this. That's my hint. All right, I'm gonna leave this blank for now. Maybe we can come back to it later. Okay, oh, timber. Okay, someone wrote timber, thank you. Yes, perfect. Timber, wood. So I live in a timber building, or it's made of wood, a wooden building. Most low rises are made of timber. Speaking of types of building, low rise, that's a type of building. Low rise. Okay, two more types. We got low rise and we got, what's this called? Anybody? Any thoughts, any guesses? Practically spelt it out for you there. High rise. Yes, very good. Thank you. High rise apartments. High rise. And one more type, I believe. Okay. This is okay. The last one's a bit of a funny one. It's kind of a building, but it's a building where you keep your cars. I'm gonna leave it at that and see if you guys can guess. What's the last building? It's related to cars. Any guesses? Yeah, multi-story car park. Thank you. Good. Multi-story car park. Car park. Okay. There we go. Nice. Good job, guys. All right. Parts of a building. I think there is only 4 here. Parts, yes, 4. All right, what do you guys think? Angela, could you tell me some parts of a building? We got 3 more words, so you can give me like 3 more, or even just 1 more, that's fine. Do you got any ideas? Anyone else as well? Please feel free to chime in. Parts of a building. Parts of a building. What are buildings made of? Any thoughts? Yeah, porch. Thank you. Good. Porch. Absolutely. Porch. Yes, porch is very good. There's 2 more. It might be kind of tricky. Remember how I described the front of a building, but there's nothing behind it? It started with an F. There's actually 2 here that begin with F. So one of them, the front of a building where there's no behind. Do you remember what it's called? It's called a fa. It's a French word. See if you can figure it out. Facade. Yes, good. You got it. Facade. Nice. Okay. I'll leave this one blank for now. Okay, and let's do architectural style. This is our biggest category. So we have the boring international style, just tall, plain buildings. What other styles do we have? Okay, so in our little word sheets, so which of these are building styles? Remember, these were the ones that I showed pictures to you of. I used my phone, I was showing you pictures. So what are some building styles or architectural styles? Can you give me some styles? Let's see, for example, we had, yes, Art Deco, thank you. Art Deco, very popular in the 1920s, started off in France. Okay, what else did we have? Art Deco, international style. Did we have anything else? Oh, someone said modern. Good, nice, thank you. Modern. So yeah, we got modern buildings. And any others? Postmodern, nice, very good. Postmodern. We got postmodern, and there's 2 more styles. What about the style that goes way back, hundreds or thousands of years even? Very old style, but beautiful. Can be very beautiful. Any ideas on what that might be? Let me know. Starts with a T. And there's one more style that starts with an S. It's where everything is the same, especially like places like England might have a lot of these type of homes. Traditional. Yes, traditional is the old style. Thank you. Traditional. Okay. And the last one was standardized. So where many houses or buildings look the same, they are cheap to build. So that's why they all look similar. Okay. And no one wrote this in, but the last part I was hoping for was foundation. So remember, that's underneath the building. It helps keep your building up and stops it from sinking. That is a foundation. All right. Aesthetic perception, how you think something looks. So we got 4 more words. So what are some ways to talk about the aesthetic perception of a building? So we have ugly, we have elegant. What are some other words? 4 more words. Any thoughts, guys? Someone wrote an eyesore. Yes, absolutely. An eyesore. That's very much aesthetic perception. Good. And I see controversial. Good. Nice, nice. Okay, so there's 2 more that we can fill in. So I'll let you guys try and fill in the last 2 if you can. Finally, features. What makes the building easy to work in or to live in? So we have functional. 3 more words. What features can make a building easy to live in, easy to work in? Functional. What makes a building functional? Okay, so I'm trying to find the answers. Okay, let's see. What do you guys think? Any thoughts? Somebody wrote practical. Yes, that is good. Practical, definitely. Practical. That is important. Functional, practical. And 2 more. Any other words? Any other thoughts? Nobody? What about hint to electricity in a building? Starts with an E. E. And it's made of 2 words. And what was the other one? Last one, it's also made of 2 words. All right, so there's 2 more features, and I'll let you try and fill those in. Okay, all right. Now, someone wrote well designed for here, and that's good. Yes, well designed. Well designed. Okay, and the last one here, it's pleasing geometric forms. Okay, that's a long thing to write, so I'm going to put pleasing. Pleasing geometric. So remember, that's kind of the buildings that have like all the triangles and the squares. Like they're quite cool looking. Very neat, very cool style. Okay. And someone wrote energy efficient. Yay, good job. Energy efficient. Energy efficient. And the last one is high tech. High tech. Okay. Nice. Good job, guys. We did it. We finished our chart. So now you know how to talk about architecture. So, you know how to talk about building materials, parts of a building, the aesthetic perception, how a building looks, types of buildings. You can talk about architectural style, and you can talk about features. Now, for the last 3 minutes, I want you to talk about your building. What is your building like? You can tell me about the building you work in, or the building you live in. It's totally up to you. Although we only have about 3 minutes left, so you're gonna have to type out your answers real quickly if you want to let me know what kind of building you live or work in. So I will give you an example. The building I live in, I'd say it's a very well-designed building, but it is also standardized. So there's many buildings in Canada that look standardized. They kind of have the same style, but it's still well-designed. It's a low-rise building. Remember this word, low-rise, 4 stories. And it has kind of a dark red and yellow design to it. So it's quite pretty. I really do like my building. Now, your turn. What kind of building do you guys live in? You got 2 minutes to tell me what kind of building you live in or work in. So actually, I'll circle the words that I used. Like I said, I live in, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, my building is made of timber. So I live in a timber, low-rise building. And it is a standardized building because there are many buildings that look like this in the neighborhood where I live. But it's not really ugly. It's not an eyesore. I think it is quite well designed. And it's a practical building. So my building, it's not very fancy, but it's pretty practical. All right. So unfortunately, I don't see anyone typing out their answers, but that is okay. Good try anyway. So guys, we are now at the end of our lesson. I would like you to, now I'm not sure if anyone has handed in their homework yet. I'm going to check now to see if anyone's done their homework, and I am going to mark it and I'll have that handed back to you at the end of the day. Now, I will be teaching you guys again tomorrow, and so that should be lots of fun. So, I'd like to thank you so much for coming in and tuning into today's lesson. You guys did great. I hope you learned lots of new vocabulary. If you didn't speak up in class today, I'd like you to try practicing this at home. Maybe talk to your family member and try to describe the building you live in, okay? That's your homework for tonight. Okay guys, I will see you tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.